Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to learn a English lesson of class 9, that is an astrologer's day, written by R.K. Narayan, and this is part 2 of this chapter. Part 1 already we have seen and understood in the previous video which has been uploaded, and the link of the same will be shared in the description box for your convenience. So let's get started with part 2. But before that, students, if you're visiting my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of all the upcoming videos. To watch the video till end, and if you like it, do hit the like button and share with your friends. And students, if you need complete guidance to prepare yourself for your examinations, if you are looking for some question banks, model question papers, practice papers of different subjects like English, Hindi, and Sanskrit, and also science, social, and maths, you could visit my description box of this video, wherein you have many links. I have shared many links where you can look at for this books, and you can it can be great helpful for you. So do not forget to visit the description box. Along with that, you will also have many stationaries, mathematics kits, which will help you to easily solve the mathematics problem. So do visit the description box and select according to your need. So let's now go ahead with the chapter. We had already seen about the author in the last video. Let's quickly revise it. The author's name is R.K. Narayan. The full name is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swamy. He is commonly known as R.K. Narayan, and he is well-known Indian writer. Usually he sets his fiction according to South Indian town of Malgudi, and he is a leading author of early Indian literature in English, and his name is taken along with other authors like Mulk Raj Anand and Raja Rao. So we had seen about him. So this is what about the author, and let's continue with the lesson. We had seen about the astrologer, how he used to spend his day. He was using the lights which were coming from the nearby shops, and he had a uh, good place and to sit where lots of crowded people were being attracted towards him. And now when it was evening and he was just packing it up, he saw that some stranger had come and was standing near him. So let us see who is it. Now, he sensed a possible client and said, "You look so careworn. It will do it will do you good to sit down for a while and chat with me." So these were two people who were standing, and this person, he sensed a possible client. He thought, this is one of my client, he is one of my customers now. And then he said, the two strangers who came said, "You look so careworn. It will do you good to sit down for a while and chat with me," because they knew that he was getting ready to pack up and move. So he said, "You could sit for a while and chat with me." And the other grumbled some reply vaguely. The astrologer pressed his invitation, whereupon the other thrust his palm under his nose, saying, "You call yourself an astrologer?" The astrologer felt challenged and said, tilting the other's palm towards the green shaft of light, "Yours is a nature." So now, when he said, "It's good if you chat with me for some time," and there were two strangers, though the other also said something vaguely which was not clear what exactly he said. Then the astrologer accepted the invitation, like he was ready to hold on and say about this clients, this customers, so that he could earn some money there. So he showed the stranger, gave his palm just under the nose of an astrologer, and he was challenging him and saying him that, "You call yourself an astrologer?" So when this question was posed, astrologer was feeling like he's being challenged, and then he tilted the other palms towards his the green shaft light to see like what his lines of the hands are saying, of his palms are saying. Then he starts saying that, so that yours is a nature of so, whatever he would have seen in it. So the stranger says, "Oh, stop that. Tell me something worthwhile. I don't want to listen about my nature and all. And our friend will be picked. I charge." So he said, "Okay, I don't want to listen this. My friend will get bored. Just say me something worthwhile from seeing my palm." Then the astrologer says, "I charge only 3 pies per question, and what you get ought to be good enough for your money." So he says, "I just charge 3 pies per question, and so you have to be ready to give so much of money. How many questions you ask is accordingly." So at this, the other withdrew his arm, took out an anna, and flung it out to him, saying, "I have some questions to ask. If I prove you are bluffing, you must return that anna to me with interest." So the other friend, when he listens this that he is charging 3 pies per question, he quickly removes one anna and he is just flung in front of the astrologer and says, I have some questions to ask. And if I prove that whatever you are saying is you are bluffing, that means you are just saying false story or fake story, then you must return me this anna along with the interest in it. So if you find my answer satisfactory, you will give me 5 rupees. This was the reply given by the astrologer. Okay, he said, if you feel that I'm bluffing, I'll give you more with the interest. But if you find satisfactory, you will give me 5 rupees. So he said, no. Or will you give me 8 annas? He said, okay, give me 8 annas if you find my answer as satisfactory. Then he said, all right, provided you give me twice as much if you are wrong. So again, the stranger says, okay, if you are wrong, then you have to give me twice the 8 annas, means 8 into 8, like that. So this pact was accepted after a little further argument. So there was a bit argument going on, and then it was accepted by both the parties, that is, the strangers and the astrologer. Then the astrologer sent up a prayer to heaven as the other lit a chirot. The astrologer caught a glimpse of his face by a match light. Now, when astrologer started his praying, as he had some tricks and some rules of how he attracted the customers, and then how what was the procedure of starting of his work. So he started that saying up with the prayers to the heaven, and the other stranger who was sitting along with the stranger who was accompanied there, he started lighting his chirot. It is a like of light kind of cigar. So he lit that and he was just um, doing that chirot. And then astrologer caught a glimpse when he lit the chirot with that uh, light. He could see the glimpse of face of that person, of that stranger, because of that match light when he just tried to burn it. And there was a pause as cars hooted on the road, car drivers swore at their horses, and the babble of the crowd agitated the semi-darkness of the park. Like there was totally pause in astrologer's mind after seeing the face or having the glimpse of that stranger's face. The other sat down, sucking his cheroot, puffing out, sat there ruthlessly. And the other one was nicely enjoying his cheroot. Now the astrologer felt very uncomfortable now. Here, take your Anna back. I'm not used to such challenges. It is late for me today. Like this, he started saying, he just started uh, getting back, and he said, I don't want to say anything about you. I'm not ready to take some challenges which you are putting in front of me, and it's very late for me today. I have to move from here. So he made preparations to bundle up, and the other held his wrist and said, you can't get out of it now. So the strangers were there. They said, now just wait. You cannot bundle up your things and you cannot pack up and go. So he hold the astrologer's wrist with his hand, and he said, you cannot get out of it now. You have to answer my questions. So you dragged me in while I was passing. So the stranger said, you dragged us when we were passing from here, and now you have to say and reply to us. Now the astrologer started shivering in his grip, and his voice shook, and he became faint. And he's saying, leave me today, I will speak to you tomorrow. He was begging for them to leave it for the day. The other thrust his palm in his face and said, challenge is challenge. So this stranger, they were not easily listening or letting him go. They said, no, challenge is a challenge, and you have to say me something now. Go on. The astrologer proceeded with his throat drying up. There is the woman. So astrologer, somehow he managed, he controlled his nervousness, his throat was drying up, and then he started, there is a woman in your life, and blah blah blah. Again, some story he wanted to say. But stop, said the other. I don't want all that nonsense. He did not wanted to listen that. He wanted to, shall I succeed in my present search or not? Like he wanted to know whatever for the cause which I have come here, will I be succeeding in that or not? I have come here to search something. Will I be successful in that, in finding that particular thing or not? Answer this and you can go, the stranger said to the astrologer. Otherwise, I will not let you go till you disgorge all your coins. So now they were just trying to bully him and frighten him by saying that if you don't answer to this question, whether I'll be successful or not in the search which I'm doing now, and otherwise you will not be able to go until you give all the coins which you are having. So they tried to frighten the astrologer. Now the astrologer muttered a few incantations and replied, all right, I will speak. So something, some mantras and all, he started chanting and then said, okay, I will speak. Then, but will you give me a rupee if what I say is convincing? Otherwise, I'll not open my mouth, and you may have to do what you like. So now, astrologer, he got a bit of motivation, and he somehow managed to control his fear. And he says, "Okay, I'll speak up to you, but you will have to give me a rupee instead of that. If whatever I say is convincing to you, and if you're ready, then I'll open my mouth. If not, you may do whatever you want." So after a good deal of haggling, the other agreed. So the stranger agreed now. When he saw the confidence of the astrologer, now he agreed. Okay. The astrologer said, "You were left for dead. Am I right?" So now astrologer says that once in past few years before, you were left to dead. Am I right? Like someone tried to kill you, and this happened with you, right? The astrologer asked the question, and the stranger was very much surprised. He said, "Ah, tell me more." Then he says, "A knife has passed through you once, like someone tried to kill you from a knife," said the astrologer. Now the strangers, they were very happy that he is saying exactly what happened in their life. He said, "Yes, good fellow." He bared his chest to show the scar. Now that stranger, he opened his chest and he showed, "See, the scar is also there. I was hit by a knife once." "What else?" he started asking the astrologer. "And then you were pushed into a well nearby in the field." Then astrologer says, "After hitting with the knife, then they pushed you into a well nearby in the field. You were left for dead again. Then nobody was there, and you were just pushed in the well so that you may die. So I should have been dead if some passerby had not chanced to peep into the well," exclaimed the other, overwhelmed by enthusiasm. So other stranger, he started again. When he heard this, he was very shocked, and he said, "Yes, yes, it exactly happened like that. I was pushed into a well, and if some passerby, the one who was passing by from the well, if they would have not by chance peeped into a well, I would have not been alive today." Then he asked the stranger, "When shall I get at him? When shall I get that person? When shall I meet him?" He asked, clenching his fist. He was all ready to take the revenge. That was the person whom he had come to search for here, and he was asking for that itself. But the same whether I'll be able to find him or not. Will I be successful in my search or not? So this was the question he wanted to ask from the astrologer here. And so astrologer replies, "In the next world." But that means you will find that person in the next world, not here now. "He died 4 months ago in a far off town. You will never see any more of him." Now the other groaned on hearing it. The astrologer proceeded, "Guru Nayak." Okay, so the astrologer said, "You will not be able to find him in this world. Only in the next world you will be finding, because he has died 4 months ago in a far off town, and you will never see him anymore here." So the other got angry on hearing this news, and he said, the astrologer also called out the stranger's name as Guru Nayak. So stranger is shocked now. He says, "You know my name?" The other said, and taken aback. A step back he goes, and he says, "You know my name?" So he says, "As I know all other things, Guru Nayak, listen carefully to what I have to say." Now the astrologer has got that strong point. Now he says, "Guru Nayak, so I know many more things about you. So listen, Guru Nayak." Again, he's calling him by his name, and he says to him to listen carefully to whatever he says. Now he says, "Your village is 2 days' journey due north of this town. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again great danger to your life if you go from home." So now Ashwini is saying, the listen carefully, and he says that your village is 2 days journey from here, and it's towards the north of this town. So what you have to do is take the next train and be ready. Just move on to your home. Don't be here, because I get to see that your life is in great danger once again if you leave from your home. So he took out a pinch of sacred ash and held it to him, gave it to him, and he says, "Rub it on your forehead and go home quickly, and never ever travel towards the southward again. Do not come in this area again in your life. And if you do so, if you remain at your own village, you will live for 100 years. Then, if you come here, then you will have a threat to your life." So this is the message or the advice which was given by astrologer. So now the question was posed by the stranger, "Why should I leave home again now?" The said the other said reflectively, "I was only going away now and then to look for him and to choke out his life if I met him." He said, "Why will I leave home again? I just wanted to come back. I was just coming out here and there and everywhere. I was just going to just find this person who had left me to die, and I wanted to take the revenge to him. So I came. Now, why will I leave the home otherwise?" Then the other person also shook his head regretfully, and he's saying that he escaped my hands. I hope at least he died as he deserved. So he's so angry. He's saying he has escaped my hands. He should have died from me itself, from my hands itself. But I hope whatever happened to him, however he died, he had to be deserved. So Ashoda says, yes, exactly. He was crushed under a lorry, and the other looked gratified to hear it. So like they were a little bit okay. He deserved that kind of death. So because he has done the same thing. And then at that till that time, the astrologer finished his conversation. The place was deserted, and the astrologer picked up all his articles for very like quickly set them in his bag, and the green shaft was also gone now. The little bit of light which was coming, even that was not there. Now all the whole place was darkened, and it was silence. The stranger had gone off into the night, and after giving the astrologer a handful of coins. So as per the promise, they gave some few coins, handful of coins to the astrologer, and even the strangers left away from there. Now it was nearly midnight, and when the astrologer reached home, his wife was waiting at the door for him, and she demanded for the explanation. What is the reason? Why are you so late? So astrologer just flung the coins at her and said, count them. One man gave all that money, he said. 12 and a half, Anna, she counted and said, and she was very happy with that much of money because she say, I can buy some jaggery and coconut tomorrow from this because the child has been asking for sweets for so many days, and now I can prepare because I have nice money. I can stuff something nice for her. Like this, she was very happy. But this astrologer, he started shouting, swine has cheated me. He promised me a rupee, said the astrologer. Like he had promised a rupee, but he just gave him 12 and a half annas. Now the wife looked at astrologer and said, why are you looking worried? What is wrong? Is something wrong? He said, nothing is wrong. Then they had a dinner, and after dinner, they were sitting in a pyol. Pyol is a court, you can say, which is found near, usually in the village, and they were sitting there after the dinner, and he said, do you know, great load is gone from me today. Like a big tension which was there in my head has been gone from my head today. And he says that I thought I had blood of a man on my hands all these years. Like he says that I thought that I'm a criminal, I have murdered a person, and that blood of a man is on my hands. Like I'm a murderer of a person. All these years I used to think like that. That was the reason why I ran away from home, settled here, and married you. And he is alive. Now he says that that was the reason that I left home, I left village, and I came here in the city without informing, without any plans. Okay, and then that is why I married you and I settled here. But that person, he is alive. So I'm very much relaxed that I don't have any cases on me or any criminal tag on me now. She gasped, like she was surprised to see, you tried to kill somebody? So he says, yes, in our village, when I was a silly youngster, we drank, gambled, and quarreled badly. And one day why we think of it now. He said that one day we were just drunken and we grumbled and we quarreled with each other, and that is why all these things happened. But why to think of it now? Everything is okay. He's alive. Now it's time to sleep, he said, yawning and stretched himself into the pile. So, like this, he finished his story and he said, so now are you getting it, students, that the strangers who came was the person whom the astrologer had tried to kill, but he just got to see his face, and that is how he started making the story and escaped there by saying him that he should not be away from his house. So here we come to an end with the story. I hope you understood and liked it. If you liked it, do hit the like button and share with your friends, and do not forget to visit the description box. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll be back soon with more such videos. Till then, stay safe and take care. Thank you.